Good morning, all, and you're very welcome to this session of the Intertrade Ireland All-Ireland Innovation Programme, which is focused on the entrepreneurial ecosystem and the role that the university plays in nurturing it. In today's session, we're delighted to be joined by Siobhan Horan, the Industry and Partner Engagement Manager at Knowledge Transfer Ireland. Today, Siobhan will provide us with an overview of KTI's activities and how they are connecting business with the Irish research system. Siobhan, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you'll be able to share your slides.
Thanks, Lawrence. I'm just bringing these up now, so hopefully you'll be able to see that.
Thank you. We can see that now. That's perfect. The floor is yours, Siobhan.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So as Lawrence said, my name is Siobhan Horan and I work for Knowledge Transfer Ireland. And I'm delighted to come here today to talk to you about connecting business and the Irish research system, and specifically the role that the university can play in innovation in Ireland and how companies can access the expertise and supports available through our research system. So before I go any further, I'm going to talk about what knowledge transfer is, because there are a lot of different terms for this. You might have heard knowledge exchange, research commercialization, technology transfer, but for the purpose of this presentation, and the most commonly used term in Ireland is knowledge transfer. And really what I mean is it's how companies can access all the great things that are happening within the university base, whether that's research, skills, expertise, new technologies that are being developed. There is a wealth of expertise on your doorstep within our research organisations in Ireland, and we would encourage companies to tap into them. So I'm going to move on to the different ways that companies can engage with the research base. But first, I want to point out a few reasons, if it wasn't already obvious, about why companies should consider working with a university as their R&D partner. One of the first reasons is access to some of Ireland's brightest minds. We have a world-class academic community in Ireland, and these people are subject matter experts. They're international experts in their field of study, and they can be of great benefit to your business to help you solve any technical problems you have, maybe any business issues that you may have, and they're there to provide potentially consultancy, work with you as an R&D partner, and really help benefit your business. Another benefit for your company as well is that there's a lot of state-of-the-art facilities and equipment within our research organisations, much of which is state funded. And by engaging with your innovation office, they can help you to access the facilities available in our research organisations. And also research collaboration, it's a huge topic in Ireland. It's something that's really, really important. There's a lot of benefits to carrying out research collaboration between industry and academia. And there's a lot of state funding available to make this happen and to de-risk these research projects. So I'm going to go into detail a little bit more on some of the different ways that you can engage with your university. So the first one is academic consultancy. So academic consultancy, it's a recent development in the Irish knowledge transfer systems. It's something that happens quite a lot in Europe. We're quite new to the game in Ireland. So this is where you can engage with an academic or a researcher within your university and ask them to carry out a specific piece of consultancy for your business. So there's also potential state funding available for these consultancy projects. So you could engage with Enterprise Ireland's innovation vouchers, or if the consultancy is specifically around digitalization and digital transformation, there's also digitalization vouchers available for this as well. They're relatively easy to access. And if you're looking at a university like UCC, there are managed consultancy offices in the institution that can help you arrange this consultancy and help you access the right academic to work on this project. Another potential avenue is contract research. This is where you know that you need something done. It could be potentially testing a piece of equipment, and you can go to the university and get some assistance with this. And in this case, the industry partner will provide 100% of the cost of the contract research to be carried out. Also, I'm just going to highlight people exchange programs. If you want an academic to come and work in your company, or you want one of your employees to go and work within a research organisation, there's a lot of financial supports available to make these people exchange programmes happen. And that's at the Irish government level through the Irish Research Council, or there's also a lot of EU funding available for that as well. And all these funding programmes are listed on the KTI website, so you can define which ones are the best fit for your business and your research project. Also, licensing new technology and intellectual property. I'm sure many of you, when you think about your research organization, you'll think about all the cutting edge research that's happening. So one of the ways that you can gain access to the results of this research is by licensing out the results and the intellectual property. And there's many different forms of licenses. We have a lot of information about licensing on our website, and also each university in Ireland will have an innovation office. These people are your bridge between the academic world and the business world, and they can help you to structure any of these licensing agreements. And I've mentioned collaborative research, so this is one of the key areas that we work with. And collaborative research is something that we're very good at in Ireland. So KTI, we capture the outputs of the research system in Ireland. So for 2020 alone, we had more than 3,700 different collaborative research and consultancy engagements between Irish industry and the research base. And that's something that's been growing year on year. So that 3,700 number in 2020 was up 20% on the year before. We all know how challenging 2020 was for business and the research base, but we do expect that number to grow as well. All signs are pointing towards 2021 being a very strong year for research and industry collaboration. So there are a lot of different funding available for collaborative research, whether that's a smaller innovation voucher that you're looking for a small piece of work, up to a larger scale disruptive technologies innovation fund grant for a large multi-party collaborative research project, and different funding schemes in between. One of the questions we get asked a lot in Knowledge Transfer Ireland, a concern I think for a lot of people in industry and in the research basis, who owns the output of this collaborative research? So in Ireland, we are very lucky that we have a national policy on research commercialisation. And that is not as highbrow as it sounds. It's a document that sets out the rules of engagement for working with the research base. And it sets out in very simple terms who owns the outputs of a research collaboration. So the document is called the National IP Protocol. It's available through the KTI website. It's constantly updated to make sure that it is fit for purpose. So it was last updated in 2019, where we added in some guidance on state aid regulations, conflict of interest policies, looking at how you set up a spin-out company from research. So really practical guidance in this. But I just pulled out this one diagram, and it really just shows that if you're looking at collaborative research, the IP rights that you will have, you'll be entitled to at the end of the project, it's determined by the type of contribution that you put in. So if you're an industry partner and you pay for 100% of that collaborative research, you'll have the right to assignment of the intellectual property. And then as your industry contribution decreases, the IP rights that you may be entitled to decrease. So if you have any questions on that and on IP ownership, we're very happy to help you in Knowledge Transfer Ireland, or also, speak to the innovation office within your institution. They're very well versed in this policy. They are experts in the field of intellectual property and collaborative research, and they're there to help your business and to help your research project. So I've said a lot about knowledge transfer, but I really haven't said much about who Knowledge Transfer Ireland are. So in Knowledge Transfer Ireland, we are a central office, and we're set up to oversee the knowledge transfer system in Ireland. And our whole mission really is to make it easier for entrepreneurs to connect into the research system. And we're all about bringing transparency to the system, so publishing the outputs, helping you know what's happening in the system, and also bringing predictability to the system as well. So we know that universities and institutes of technology, they can all operate that little bit differently, but the principles of engaging with a university, with an institute of technology to carry out a research project will be the same. So the commercial terms may differ, but the steps that you will take to licensing out technology, they will be pretty similar. They're set out in the National IP Protocol, and KTI is working with all the innovation offices to make sure that they're operating to international best standards. So we are that national office, and we do provide a lot of resources to help businesses and researchers to be aware of what's happening across the country, to help you find the right partner within the research base, which we know can be very tricky, to help you find any relevant licensing opportunities, and also to navigate the different research infrastructure that's available in Ireland. So I'll go through a few of these supports in a little bit more detail. So I've mentioned some of the practical guidance we had, and specifically I've mentioned our national IP protocol. So you can see that document there in the middle. We have a shorter version, which is the national IP protocol made simple for those of you that don't enjoy reading policy documents, or you can have the long form document as well. These are all available to download from the KTI website. We've also we know that a lot of these topics can appear difficult to navigate if you're not familiar with the world of intellectual property. So we've created a series of practical guides which are available to download from our website. You can read them online, and they cover everything from material transfer agreements to non-disclosure agreements, what you should consider when putting in place confidentiality agreements when working with your research institution, to creating spin-outs, to looking at legal issues that will crop up when you're looking at contracts with research performing organizations. So these are really practical guidance. We're constantly keeping them up to date. So have a look, and if there is anything there that you find missing that would be relevant for your business, please do get in touch. We're constantly updating them. We're adding a new guide on trade secrets, which will be coming out towards the end of the year. And also, so one of the big projects that we've been working on this year is the National Directory of RD&I Supports for Enterprise. So KTI has brought together a working group of any government stakeholder that has an interest in R&D in Ireland. And we've documented all the supports available for industry and academia. So this lists what's happening in our technology centres, our research centres, where the expertise lies in Ireland, what supports are available for collaborative research, what tax incentives may be available for carrying out R&D in Ireland. It's a really comprehensive listing, and it's meant to help make it a little bit easier for you to navigate the system, know what expertise is available there, and know what funding your business may be eligible for. And also for academics, if you are looking at funding for your research, there is some information in there as well that would be relevant for you. That's all available through the KTI website. So a question that we get as well from industry is how to find the right partner within the research space. We know that can be really difficult if you don't have an ongoing relationship with your university, to find that one academic or researcher that is working in the relevant field for you. So we have a tool available on the KTI website, and it's Find a Research Partner. So it's a search tool where you can input your search term, and it'll bring up a list of academics in Ireland that are publishing on that topic. So if you're looking for a research partner to carry out an artificial intelligence project with you, you can type that in, you can get a list of people that are interested in this topic, and then you can be put in direct contact with them. So that tool, it's a really good way of making initial contact and knowing who is working on your field of expertise. And then I'm coming towards the end of my presentation, but obviously funding is something that people always want to know about. So RD&I funding, we have a lot of it in Ireland. There are a lot of really good supports available to help make innovation possible. But we know as well that it can be tricky to know what's the right support for your business. What does SFI do? What does Enterprise Ireland do? You know, when do I go to an EI technology centre, or when should I work with an SFI research centre? So we've taken away a lot of that confusion, and we've created this tool where you can input the type of company you are, the size of company, the size of the research project you want to do, and it'll bring up a filtered list of supports that may be available to your business. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I really just wanted to give you a flavour of the wealth of resources that are available within our universities, and really encourage you to look at our universities as a research partner. In Ireland, we are very good at knowledge transfer. We publish the outputs of the knowledge transfer system in Ireland every year. So we are benchmarking ourselves against the best in the world. And as I said, you know, engagements between research and academia are growing year on year. We are just shy of that 4,000 mark for 2020. I'm sure we'll hit it in 2021. We had 30 new spin-out companies from academia in 2020, which is quite a high number. We also had about 39 different new products brought onto the market, which were the result of collaborative innovation between industry and academia. So these are really good results. They're really beneficial for the Irish economy and also the Irish society. So that kind of brings me to the end of my presentation. You have my email address. If you have any questions on what I've said today, please do feel free to get in touch. So I'll hand back to you, Lawrence.
Thank you very much, Siobhan. Can I ask you, Siobhan, just one quick question to finish out? Given that a large amount of our industry base across Ireland is SME based, is it just the large OEM, the multinationals that are engaging with the universities, or is it the indigenous Irish SMEs that are working with them too? And maybe you could give an example, not divulging any company names or anything like that, of practice or in that area.
Yeah, so we're really seeing that it's companies of all sizes that are engaging with the research base. And they're engaging on research projects of all different sizes as well. So it's not just your larger scale Horizon Europe type projects that are multi-million R&D funding. We do see that as well. But it may just be that you have a problem in your business and you cannot find the solution in-house. So you may want to go to your local university, look for a small piece of consultancy. You could get support through potentially an innovation voucher to carry that out, and get an academic to help you to solve that problem. And we are seeing that happen in Ireland. So for example, there is a whiskey company in Dublin, Lambay Irish Whiskey, and they're based on Lambay Island off the coast of Dublin. Beautiful island, but the power supply out there is a little bit challenging. So they're not grid connected. They get most of their electricity from renewable sources. So Lambay are planning on building a distillery on the island. So they engaged with researchers from Carlow, and Carlow were able to, or Dundalk, sorry, I've rolled that back. They were able to carry out an energy study for them to help them plan for future energy requirements on the island. So that's a really good way that a company is engaging with the research base to plan for future needs. So we are seeing projects like that happening quite a lot. So there's a lot of different supports available, whether it's carrying out practical testing of products, where you might want to go through a technology gateway, which is hosted through the Institutes of Technology. Or if you're looking at digital transformation, which is a really big topic for a lot of companies at the moment, you may want to engage with someone like CEDAR, the Artificial Intelligence Technology Centre based in UCD. If you're a manufacturing company that is looking at engaging in Industry 4.0, you might want to engage with Irish Manufacturing Research. There's an abundance of supports out there. So really have a look on the Knowledge Transfer Ireland website. We list a number of success stories that can give you an idea of how other companies have worked with the research base and gotten successes for their business. So I'd really encourage you to have a look at that, and also have a look at the different funding that is available. There is a lot that SMEs are eligible for, so I definitely encourage you to have a look at it and apply for it, and also talk to us in Knowledge Transfer Ireland and talk to your innovation office and build up a relationship with them. All
right. Thank you very much, Siobhan, for that whistle-stop overture of the role of Knowledge Transfer Ireland and the importance of ye as an intermediary in connecting Irish industry with the university research, and so that SMEs and other industry can leverage the resources that are there for mutual benefit. So I'd like to thank you for your input, and I'll just stop the recording now.